Hi everyone, and welcome to the second recording on stress. So we're going to begin with this slide on the endocrine system and stress. So the function of the endocrine system is to secrete hormones. So the endocrine system is a network of glands that secrete hormones. When the body is under stress, there's two main groups of hormones that are released to combat the stress, and those are the catecholamines and the corticosteroids. When we look at the catecholamines, again, adrenaline results in increased heart rate, all right? Blood vessels constrict, muscles become tense, etc. High catecholamine levels are related to various diseases and illnesses. When we look at the cortisol, under the corticosteroids, they can suppress immunity and cause insulin resistance, leading to diabetes, increased blood pressure, etc. Increased cortisol is associated with various diseases, like again hypertension, heart attack, diabetes, arthritis, stroke, multiple sclerosis, a variety of infections. So during periods of prolonged stress, elevated levels of adrenal hormones, including cortisol, destroy the ability of white blood cells, known as natural killer T cells. And so these actually aid in the immune response, and when suppressed, the body is less effective at combating illnesses. So any stress, regardless of the source, causes this fight or flight response. A stressor activates brain cells. Norepinephrine is released into the blood. This stimulates the adrenal medulla to release epinephrine and causes heightened awareness. If we have chronic stimulation, that brings about a chronic arousal state with sleep disturbance, edginess, irritability, GI upset. So here in the diagram, look closely at some of the effects stress has on various parts of the body. And the next slide here looks at things that are associated with the fight or flight response. Again, increased mental activity, so increased mental acuity. Your bronchial tubes dilate so that you could take more air in. Your pupils dilate. All of these other things increase here. Your respiratory rate, your heart rate, cardiac output, glucose levels increase, fatty acids, all right, and there's more blood flow to skeletal muscles. The hypothalamus also releases endorphins. These are powerful natural painkillers that enable people to fight or flee even when injured. Chronic stress can actually deplete endorphins. We're going to look at some specific things here, the first one being stress and how its negative association with different things that happen in pregnancy. So in one study here, women who reported more stress in their second and third trimesters, they had more adverse outcomes. There was more neonatal death, a lower APGAR score, and that APGAR is just a score that's given to see how babies adapt to extrauterine life, and also low birth weight. So perceived stress and the impact of life events predicted both timing of delivery and infant birth weight in a low socioeconomic sample. So that was another study done looking at the detrimental effects that stress has during pregnancy. So chronic stress in pregnancy contributes to actually preterm birth. Women in pregnancy are more prone to infections, and that's why a flu vaccine is recommended. Stress experienced by a mom in pregnancy has physiological effects on the baby. So let's look a little bit deeper into the cardiovascular disease and stress. So there's been lots of studies done related to how stress has a detrimental effect on the cardiovascular system. So what's happening then is when we look at heart disease, stress causes blood pressure to increase, and that weakens the inner lining of your arteries. So the inside lining of the arteries become damaged, so the body starts to repair them. Fats are deposited, and as a result, these blood vessels become narrower, and then blood circulation is slowed, and the likelihood of clotting increases. So the body continues to try to heal. Platelets are mobilized to the damaged arteries, clots start to form, more fatty materials are deposited, and then these arteries become rigid and inflexible, and this leads to heart attacks and strokes. When also related to this is a spasm that can occur in these damaged vessels. So stress causes vessels that are already choked by plaque to narrow even more, which increases the chance of a heart attack. Again, damaged arteries constrict and they decrease blood flow in damaged areas. We also know that stress elevates level of cholesterol. So there's all of these serious illnesses that are connected to stress. When we look even at infectious diseases, those are related to stress as well. So stress compromises the immune system enough for infection to take place. So again, several studies done to look at this association between infectious diseases and stress. So medical students reported increased instances of infectious disease during exam periods, then in comparison months preceding these periods. And this second bullet here is something that we've talked about or you viewed in a previous video. So healthy volunteers, they were exposed to different cold viruses, and life events predicted who got a cold. So through a variety of effects, stress can actually delay and sometimes prevent acquired immunity, leaving you susceptible to maybe another bout of flu or a cold that you just got over. So chronic stress, this prolonged stress, or rather the response it engenders, are known to have deleterious effects on a number of biological systems and give rise to a number of illnesses. All right, so we're going to end here, and then we're going to resume with one last recording for this lecture. Thank you for listening.